AslamAlekum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Peace be upon you all. Today we are going to learn the tafsir of Surah Al Baqara verse 8 to 11. If you want to learn the tafsir of previous verses of Surah Al Baqara, you can check the link below in description. The four beginning ayat or verses of Surah Al Baqara describe the believers. The next two ayahs 6 to 7 describe the disbelievers. Now Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala talks about the hypocrites. They are those who claim Iman, faith by their tongue, but in their heart they conceal disbelief. The matter of munafiqeen, hypocrites, is vague, and many people do not realize their true reality. Therefore, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned their description in various places of the Quran. The hypocrites have been described in Surah Al-Tawbah, the 9th chapter of Quran, Surah An-Nur, the 24th chapter of Quran, Surah Al-Munafiqun, the 63 chapter of Quran, and other surah as well, so that their description would be known to us, so that their ways and error could be avoided. In the 8th ayah of Surah Al-Baqarah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَمِنَ النَّاسِ مَن يَقُولُ آمَنَّا بِاللَّهِ وَبِالْيَوْمِ الْآخِرِ وَمَا هُمْ بِمُؤْمِنِينَ. And of those people are some who says, we believe in Allah and the last day, but they are not believers. In this verse, وَمِنَ النَّاسِ means and those people. مَن يَقُول means who say, آمَنَّا بِاللَّهِ, who believe in Allah, وَبِالْيَوْمِ الْآخِرِ, and believe on last day, وَمَا, but not, whom, they, بِمُؤْمِنِينَ, are believers. They are not believers. And who are these people? They are munafiqeen, hypocrites. Munafiqeen means to show conformity or agreement and to conceal evil, which is one of the major sins in Islam. Their actual deeds are different from what they publicize. Now we need to know how the hypocrisy begins, how the hypocrisy starts. This ayah, the 8th ayah of Surah Al-Baqarah, was revealed on our Prophet in Medina. This is because there was no hypocrisy in Mecca. The hypocrisy starts in Medina. Now I will tell you the beginning history of hypocrisy in the form of stories so that you can understand it in a better way. People of Mecca opposed his Prophet, peace be upon him, in a very open manner. People of Mecca did much harm on Muslims. In fact, some of them were subjected to such unbearable pressure that they had to renounce their faith. They did extreme physical torture to Muslims. Even few died under their pressure. So due to these persecution, Muslims of Mecca migrated to Medina. When Prophet with few of the Muslims migrated to Medina, there were two tribes in Medina, the Aus and Khazraj. These people used to worship idols during the pre-Islam period of ignorance. But after the arrival of our Prophet, peace be upon him, to Medina, majority of Medina people embraced Islam. But undoubtedly, there were many who hated Islam, and those were the leader of these two tribes, Aus and Khazraj. They were full of hostility. They thought arrival of Prophet, peace be upon him, in Medina actually threatens their position of leadership and their influence. Instead of opposing Prophet, peace be upon him, openly, they embraced Islam, just to show off their tribes how positive they are, because their tribes had embraced Islam by their hearts. So they wanted to remain positive in the eye of their tribes people. And they also realized, however, that they could not take an openly hostile attitude toward Prophet, peace be upon him, because Prophet, peace be upon him, had so many followers on that time in Medina. So these are the people who embrace Islam just to show off and just to play safe, are munafiqeen, non-believers of Islam. It was then the hypocrisy began in Medina and among the surrounding tribes. As for the immigrants of Makkah that came to Medina, none of them were hypocrites. They immigrated willingly, seeking the pleasure of Allah. They were true believers. They left their wealth, offsprings and lands just for Allah. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala revealed the characteristics of hypocrites so that the believers would not be deceived by their outer appearance, thus saving the believers from the great evil. Otherwise, the believers might think that the hypocrites were believers, when in reality they are disbelievers. To consider the sinner people as the richest people is extremely dangerous. Okay, what is the lesson there for us? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala dislikes self-contradiction. He knows everything that is inside the hearts and how we act. We should have a check and a balance on ourselves, on our deeds. Many people accept Islam for the worldly benefits, as they saw the success of Muslims in Medina on that time. They desired a share of it. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala informed the Prophet, peace be upon him, about their intention. Well, it also applies to all of those munafiqeen who say shahada, who say they are Muslims and their actions are always opposite. They also lie in the same category of munafiqun. Then in ayah number 9, Allah tabaraka wa ta'ala says, يخادعون الله والذين آمنوا وما يخدعون إلا أنفسهم وما يشعرون. In this ayah, يخادعون means they seek to deceive. Allah means Allah, وَالَّذِينَ آمَنُوا, and those who believe, وَمَا, and not, يَخْدَعُونَ, they deceive, إِلَّا, except, أَنفُسَهُمْ, themselves, وَمَا, and not, يَشْعُرُونَ, they realize it. That was word by word translation of this ayah number 9. Now there is a complete translation of this ayah number 9. They think to deceive Allah and those who believe, but they deceive not except themselves and perceive it not. In the company of the believers, the hypocrites would pretend to be true Muslims, but as soon as they were asked to make a sacrifice for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, such as performing an act of worship, giving charity, or going to jihad, they would find it difficult. They thought, since nobody knows their internal feeling, they are deceiving the Muslims, but in reality they were only deceiving themselves. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows what the heart conceals. Therefore, through this ayah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala warns Muhammad, peace be upon him, to be careful of these people. They only accept Islam for the worldly benefit. When it comes to making a sacrifice or changing themselves, they move away. They think that by going this way, they mislead Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, or that the statement they utter will help them with Allah. This is an indication of their extreme and total ignorance. They think that such behavior will deceive Allah, just as it might deceive some of the believers. And it is also bad news for non-believers that their foresight is destroyed with their false intention. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala takes away their ability to think and see the truth. For the short-term benefit, they have leave long-term benefits. Your example is like a ship that moves about whenever wind blows. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to clean our hearts from all kinds of hypocrisy. Ameen. Then there is the 10th ayah of Surah Al Baqara. في قلوبهم مرض فزادهم الله مرضا ولهم عذاب عليم بما كانوا يكذبون. There is a word by word translation of this ayah. Fi means in, قلوبهم, their hearts, Maradun is a disease. Fazadahum has increased. Allah, Marada, disease. Walahum, and for them, Azabun, punishment. Alimun, painful. Bima, because. Kanu, they used to. Yakzibun, lie. And there was a complete translation of this ayah. In their hearts is disease. So Allah has increased their disease, and for them is a painful punishment because they habitually used to lie. The disease in their heart is the disease of doubt. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has increased them in their doubt, so they will remain confused about their religion. It can be said that a disease in a religion, not a physical disease. They are the hypocrites, and the disease is the doubt that they brought to Islam, and Allah has increased their disease, means increased them in their shameful behavior. Here Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us another trait of hypocrites, munafiqeen, that their hearts are full of desires, worldly plans, and doubts about Deen Islam. Their disease has been increased because they did not worry about it or sought treatment for it. Why did their diseases become incurable? The answer is they doubt in Quran and prophethood. This is the reason. The insincere man who thinks he can get the best of the both worlds by compromising with good and evil only increases the disease of his heart because he is not true to himself. Then the last part of this ayah is Azabun alimun bima kanu yakzibun. They are told you will have a penalty because you are in habit of lying and you are also untrue to yourself. Azabun alim means is a big punishment. Never say lie. Just for fun or to increase your importance in eyes of others, it's false and disliked by Allah. Then there is the 11th ayah of the Surah Al Baqara. وَإِذَا قِيلَ لَهُمْ لَا تُفْسِدُوا فِي الْأَرْضِ قَالُوا إِنَّمَا نَحْنُ مُصْلِحُونَ. Word by word translation. وَإِذَا, and when, قِيلَ, it is said, lahum, to them, لَا تُفْسِدُوا, not spread corruption, fi, in, al-arza, earth, qalu, they say, innama, only, nahnu, we, muslihun, or reformers. And there is the whole translation of this ayah. And when it is said to them, make not mischief on earth, they say, we are but reformers. It is indicated toward these non-believers and hypocrites munafiqeen who have lost their vision to see the truth. Allah is warning them not to cause corruption on earth. Leave your evil actions. They actually do not know the difference between right and wrong. They think they are peacemaker, but in actual they are in ignorance and encouraging evil. And when it is said to them, do not make mischief on earth, means do not commit act of disobedience on earth. The mischief is disobeying Allah, because whoever disobey Allah on earth, he committed mischief on the earth. Peace on both the earth and in heaven is ensured and earned through obedience to Allah. Rabi bin Anas said, this ayah means the hypocrites' behavior and their claim that it is for peace itself mischief, although in their ignorance they do not see it to be mischief. Since the outward appearance of the hypocrites confuse the true believers, that's why they are making mischief to the true believers. The hypocrites have two characteristics. One, they lie, and the second, they deny to the unseen, to the Allah.
May Allah keep us away from hypocrisy. Thank you for watching and hearing. In next video, we will continue the tafsir of Surah Al Baqara. Peace be upon you all. Wassalamu alaikum.